Hi everyone, my name is Louise Dempsey from the Literacy Place. Today I want to talk about dictation, and the reason I want to talk about it is I'm just hearing a lot of things at the moment out there in schools around dictation that are just causing us a little bit of concern. So one of them is people in the junior school saying I don't do writing, I just do dictation, and the other is people in the senior school saying I spend so much time on reading and skills that I don't get time for writing, so I just do dictation. So today I want to talk about this idea that dictation is not a writing program. So for people who don't know our work, Sheena and I have collaboratively written the writing book, the oral language book, the reading book, and the poetry book. What I'm going to talk to you about today is mainly ideas from the writing book. So I think when things get a little bit confusing out there in the literacy world, it's really, and I think at the moment it really is, we have a lot of people with quite strong opinions about what we should and shouldn't be doing at the moment, and it feels quite confusing to work out best practice. So I think it's really useful to come back to our curriculums because they're our guiding documents around, what we're teaching and effective pedagogy. So I'm going to talk about just very briefly about both the New Zealand and the Australian curriculum. So the New Zealand curriculum refresh for English has progress outcomes for phase 1, 2 and 3. Just going to look at the skills listed in phase 1. So these are literacy and communication progress steps. So we have spoken grammar, print awareness, phonemic awareness, letter knowledge, word knowledge, understanding requests, oral vocabulary, oral interactions, oral retelling, monitoring reading accuracy, reading for meaning, composing written texts, monitoring and reviewing own writing, and personal connections to texts. So a really comprehensive list of skills there that our kids need to get underway with literacy. Lots of focus on oral language, which I think is fantastic as well. So if we think about that skill of dictation, dictation is about listening to usually a sentence that's read, and then we are thinking about quite a few of these skills. So we're thinking about our print awareness, we're thinking about our phonemic awareness, what we know about sounds. We're matching those sounds to letters. We've probably got some word knowledge going on there. A little bit of understanding requests, but at a very basic level. And then we have maybe a bit of monitoring and reviewing of our own writing. So I'd really encourage that if I do dictation, I do get kids to reread it and to self-check it and to fix up some mistakes. But there is no composing of written text going on there, which I think is the really big one, yeah? If we look at the Australian curriculum, we go into the national literacy learning progressions and we think about writing and we think about the sub-elements. We have creating text, punctuation, handwriting and keyboarding, grammar and spelling. So once again, dictation is mainly about spelling. It's mainly about applying what we know about spelling. We're thinking a little bit about punctuation and a little bit about grammar, but we are definitely not creating texts, and we are practicing our handwriting. So in the writing book, we talk about two toolkits. We talk about the knowledge toolkit, which is what we know about writing. And we can learn a lot about writing through reading. Yeah. So in our shared reading, we can look at text. We can think about how they're all structured and organized. We can think about the purpose and audience. We can also use exemplar text so our kids can get to know those common features of writing and of specific text types. So that's one toolkit. The other toolkit is our skills toolkit for writing, and this is where we can think about what skills dictation covers. So these are all the skills we need. We generate ideas for writing. We then organize those ideas for writing. We write in sentences. We punctuate our sentences. We use our spelling. We choose our words carefully, and we need to do our editing. And editing has two parts. It is a proofreading part, which is just accuracy, and it has a recrafting part, which is basically anything we do to improve the content of our writing. At the top, I've just added handwriting because that's obviously a really important skill for writing as well. So if we think about dictation once again, it is mainly about applying our spelling skills. We are usually writing a sentence, but someone's giving that to us. We're not composing that sentence, we're just following sentence knowledge, and we might be applying a little bit of our punctuation as well. If dictation's done well, I think it should build in some proofreading, so kids proofread and fix up some of those mistakes as well. But those are the only skills that it covers. It doesn't cover generating ideas, organizing ideas, writing in sentences, composing those sentences, word choices. Yeah, so all those skills are missing. So we talk about 3 types of lessons: mini lessons, which are our skill lessons; quick writes, which are those fun kind of one-off bits of writing, just for that variety, maybe some collaborative writing; and then our writing lesson, where we're working more on those longer pieces of writing, or those different writing text types. So mini lessons is where our skill teaching goes on, where we systematically build up the skills our kids need for writing, and then we support them to apply those skills in writing. So our mini lessons are going to include work on our spelling, so our phonological awareness and our spelling skills that kids need. So the mini lesson is short and sharp. We learn a skill, we practice a skill, we review a skill. And obviously those multiple exposures are really important, and differentiating, building up those skills systematically, those are going to be what really helps the kids embed those skills. We talk about linking the activity to your writing topic, adding the learning focus to your success criteria, and keeping the session short and interactive for our kids. So a dictation can be a really useful mini lesson. It might not even need to be the whole mini lesson. Yeah, you might learn and practice a skill, and then you might use a dictation to apply it. So about 10 years ago, I was the New Zealand trainer for Smart Words, and Smart Words is a very comprehensive spelling program. It has the phonological awareness, the phonics, the spelling conventions, the morphology. It also includes work on grammar. And every lesson with the teacher, you do a quick dictation to practice the skill you've previously learned. So it's just applying that skill into a sentence, and you get the kids to proofread it and check it and improve it and reflect on it in relation to the skill they've been taught. And that, I think, is a really effective way to use dictation. Okay, I think the really important thing also to remember with any skill is that we need to model it to kids. We need that shared example of it. We need the guided, where we guide them to try it independently, and then we need that independent writing, and that's how kids progress as writers. And it's the same with our mini lessons. In a mini lesson, we need to model it and do it together before we expect kids to do it independently. So even if we do, thinking about dictation, if we want it to be successful, we need to make sure we do those I do, we do, and you do approaches as well. So we do have 3 versions of dictation in the writing book that I thought I'd just share with you, because they're lots of fun and we get great feedback from teachers about how effective they are. So there's Dictation Race, there's Perfect Proofreading, and there's Shadow Dictation. So perfect proofreading, first of all, it is just like a usual dictation. You have a section of text that you read slowly, and that needs to be linked to your learning focus. The kids write, then they self-check it. So they go through and check it, then they partner check it. So sharing with the partner, how did you get on? What did you get? And maybe changing and reviewing things. And then I really like projecting the text and kids checking against the correct model. Some people like allocating points, making it, just a bit of a challenge and fun in there as well. So here's some younger kids doing it. They've been using, they're just getting underway with their CVC words and some of those simple high frequency words. So they've done that based on In the Bin, one of the decodable texts that the ministry's put out in New Zealand. So you'll see this student has written their sentence, and then they've changed to their green pen, and they've done, with their partner, done some proofreading, and they've actually noticed they've got the incorrect vowel there. They've corrected it, fixed that up, and added the full stop. These are much older kids doing it. They did quite a long passage. So they have done their red pen as their self-check. So they've gone through and checked themselves and fixed up those mistakes. And then the blue pen there is them checking with a partner, and they actually spotted 3 more mistakes with their partner as well. So yeah, that's a much higher level where we're looking at quite sophisticated spelling and punctuation. Dictation Race, teachers have a lot of fun with this. So the basic idea is you have a section of text, same as the other one, that's at the right level for the kids and is practicing the right skills they need. You have lots of copies of that, because what the kids do is work in pairs, and one student is the writer, one student is the runner. The runner goes to the text, remembers what they can, runs to their partner and dictates it, and the partner has to write it down, and the runner can also be checking in for accuracy as well. It's a great activity. I know some people do it outside, which is quite a nice way to make it a bit more physical. With younger kids, it can be just a really simple sentence like the one I just shared with you, or sometimes maybe it's some words, so they have to run and look at a word, run back and tell their partner. So that can be differentiated for different levels as well. And finally, shadow dictation is quite fun. It's slightly different. It uses listening comprehension as well, and note-taking. So you read a section of text to the kids slowly. You might read it twice. One person takes notes, one person listens, and then they get together as a pair and try and put that text back together and try and reconstruct it. And then once again, you can project the correct model and they can do some peer reflection on that. So those are 3 versions of dictation that we think work really well. And just come back to that main idea that dictation is a great way to practice skills, but it is not a writing program. There are lots of other skills that kids need to develop as writers, and they will not learn those from dictations. So thanks very much for listening. Please visit our website for other ideas and resources. Bye for now.